Thanks for watching Afternoon Live. Losing a loved one is one of the most traumatic events a person can face. This Saturday is National Grief Awareness Day, and today we're getting advice on how to move through grief with the author of Everyday Oracles, Decoding the Divine Messages That Are All Around Us, Anne Bolinger-McQuade. Thank you so much for joining us, Anne.
Thank you, Hannah. It's a pleasure to be here with you today.
What a great topic, because at some point or another, all of us are either dealing with some form of grief or we're going to experience it in life regardless, right?
100%, whether it's a loss of a loved one or all kinds of different grief that we face, it's wonderful to know that we're not alone and that there is help on the way.
A lot of people talk about grief showing up in unexpected moments. Is that something that you've experienced and have ways to kind of cope with that?
Well, yes, I think we've all done that. The waves, you get a little wave, all of a sudden, here it comes. You weren't expecting it. Uh, the way that I deal with it is I feel very blessed to have been born with the Native American perspective of living in an everyday, in an extra dimensional world. So I know then to start to look for signs and symbols of support from the universe that are supporting me. Might be a cloud, might be a song on a radio that soothes your soul, that makes you realize that you're not alone, that lifts you momentarily. So, looking for personal oracles, your very own information coming to you from the universe for that moment makes all the difference in the world.
I've heard people talk about looking for signs and they're hoping that something is going to break through for them. Are there ways that we can be more open to receiving those messages?
Well, I think again, tuning in and connecting the dots when we see something that feels out of the normal and we know that it's out of the normal,
Mm.
look at it and see if this is really speaking to me. And what I do a lot of times is I look to, because of Native American heritage, nature. I love to quote this old Apache storyteller that talks about the rocks, the trees, the fire, the water are all alive and they watch us and respond to our needs. Watch for that. Watch for clouds. Watch for signs in the universe when you're feeling this is a little off of what you asked, but I want to slide it in right here. If you're feeling really down and you're feeling really in this wave, if you can get out and get into nature, take your shoes off, step into onto the earth, let the universe start to support you with the energy that is out there for all of us, because the universe is designed to respond to our needs.
That's so beautiful. What about friendships in times of grief? Sometimes people feel like they don't know what to say, so they end up not saying anything. But we've got to find ways to reach out, right, and connect with people when we know that they're hurting.
Oh, I think you really hit a big topic there, and I think it's so true. We don't know what to say, but I think the just the fact of reaching out and saying, I have someone that's very close to me that just lost someone very dear, and she'll get texts, she'll get all kinds of things saying, I'm thinking about you. It's hard to know what to say, but to let people know you're thinking of them. Maybe ask if we're now speaking of the individual that is going through the grief, if you can, and this is a tricky one, ask for what you need. If you feel like you are just don't know what to do, call a girlfriend, call somebody and say, are you available to go to lunch with me? Do you have a moment to talk on the phone? Talk about whatever feels right to you at the time, but reaching out and accepting the energy that is being offered to you, a couple of ideas of ways that can kind of help us through the grief.
Yeah, sometimes people feel like they want to stay strong and not show that they're struggling, but when you're able to open up like that, you can really maybe foster a deeper connection.
I 100%, and I love to share something personal. I remember years ago, tears. Tears I think are so healthy. Tears wash it away. Or I remember being really afraid to let go and cry because I was afraid if I let go and cried, where would it stop? I was afraid it wouldn't even stop. Well, they do. Tears do stop. And when we can make peace with that, we don't have to hold it so tight. We do need to release it, whether we're alone or whether with friends. Tears can be, I think it's fun to think of, tears are almost like windshield wipers. And sometimes they turn on it for a couple of minutes. Sometimes they drain the tank. So I think tears are another way. Let the tears help you wash some of that grief away. It'll come back, and when it comes back, we have more ways that then we can work with them.
I love
Keep,
that. I famously love a good cry, so I hear what you're saying. And thank you so much for stopping by. It was wonderful chatting with you.
Thank you so much for honoring possibility of grief in our life at any moment. Thanks again.
Thank
Really.
you. Anne's book again is Everyday Oracles. We'll have more information on our website at katu.com.